what he ends up with inside the structure is close to a catenary curve or a parabolic curve. And that is an entirely stable curve. If we hold up a piece of string or a chain, a catena, and it dots the curve, it's obviously stable because everything is resolved within the structure itself. The forces of compression and tension are entirely balanced out, and you don't need anything else to hold that up. The catenary curve and the parabolic curve not quite identical, but more or less so. And if you hold up your chain, you basically will adopt that blue configuration. The great earlier master of the catenary curve is Antoni Gaudí in Barcelona at the Sagrada Familia, who also, of course, just as a footnote, looked urgently, as many Art Nouveau designers did, at Ernst Haeckel and the art forms in nature. Gaudí himself worked his own particular variation on the catenary curve, modelling the vaults upside down and to mirror the loading, hanging little bags of sand. This is not Gaudí's original model, it's a reconstructed one. So he takes the catenary curve and then says, I'm going to load it by this much, does it all upside down and extrapolates it to the right way up. That's an image of the Sagrada Familia vaults, and the one on the right is the Casa Mia, the apartment block he built with a very pure catenary curve. And his working on this, he got towards that interior profile was very close to a catenary, and it's entirely trial and error. I discussed it with him. He's not actually really interested in that kind of calculation. It's almost a pointed principle, but he doesn't want to know about that. The other notable thing about the profile the wider base he eventually adopted, is you can draw a line up to the edge of the ring, and it remains from the base at the left, it remains entirely within the structure. And I suspect that also is a structural sign. He's also much concerned with the essential kind of dynamic and suggestive properties of this kind of thing, thinking of them as vortex designs, and indeed the hole in the centre, the top stone is an integral stone, it anchors the whole structure, and thinking about notions of void, thinking about things which are imaginative and beyond the actual structures. So the two domes involve very, very different aspects of what I'm calling structural intuitions. And both a deep commitment to natural geometry, both a deep commitment to what works in nature, natural form, both looked at in nature but also recreated in the work. They're both pushing structures to the limit. Buckminster Fuller in a very different way towards light structures, Goldsworthy pushing structures to the limit of stability using traditional forms. The one is somatic, massive, textural, profoundly non-theoretical, traditional and handmade. The other is intellectual, metaphysical, mathematical, using optimal structures, visionary, and mechanically prefabricated. What these two examples show is that you can be aiming at something similar in terms of the intuitive end and go about it in quite different ways, reflecting the very different intellectual proclivities of the two makers. Thank you very much.